Hey, it's Maya here. I'm going to walk you through how to get started with Flodesk. And if you clicked on this video because you're wondering what Flodesk is, it's an email marketing tool. So you have a list that people can subscribe to, and then you send them like educational content and promotional emails and things like that related to your business. And so, if you ever heard of other tools like Kit, which used to be ConvertKit, or MailChimp, or Constant Contact, it's the same idea, just another option for your email marketing. Flodesk, especially, is known for its beautiful emails and being easy to use. You can see right here on their homepage where they talk about design and show you just like some of the ways that the emails can look. So, I do recommend it for a lot of creative entrepreneurs because the visual aesthetic of the emails will resonate well with your audience, and then the platform itself is very beautiful and well laid out. Now, of course, there's always going to be a learning curve anytime you're learning a new tool. So don't worry if you struggle a bit at first, but I've tried a lot of different email marketing options, and I will say that Flodesk is one of the easiest to kind of get the hang of. So we're going to go over account setup as well as some basic skills that I want you to know, like how to send your first email, how to deliver a freebie, how to create a workflow, how to divide your list into simple segments. If anything that I just said doesn't make sense, don't worry because I'm going to explain more as we get into it. So the first thing you will need to do is create a Flodesk account. If you click my referral link in the description, you can actually get 25% off your first year, and I do get a small commission at no extra cost to you, but I wouldn't be recommending Flodesk unless I believed in it. So there you go. You can click the link and save some money, and sometimes the promotion does change, so whenever you click the link, Flodesk will let you know what the current deal is. But at the time that I'm making this video, it's for 25% off your first year. Or if you already have a Flodesk account, you can just go ahead and log in. Okay, so when you first log into Flodesk, you will be brought to the emails tab. And as you can see, this is a brand new account. There's no emails here yet. Once you do have some emails, you'll actually see those display here. Before we get into all of the email stuff though, I actually want to go over the account settings. So if you click the little bubble in the top right, go to account overview, and there are some details here that you want to make sure you fill in. And as far as what the Flodesk handle is, I get asked that a lot. If you're making something like a landing page for a form, which we'll get into in a little bit, it'll be at your handle link and then have a slash, like whatever the landing page details are. And so I like to customize this. That's something relevant for your business. My side hustle is an Etsy shop called Colorfly Digital, so I just put that name right there. If you're going to have your own website, you'll probably be creating your landing pages on the website, so this doesn't matter as much. But if you don't have a website yet, you can go ahead and customize this, and any pages you create in Flodesk will be at this link. So go ahead and and customize those details. If you have any team members, you can invite them to your account here. And then for your email setup, you can tell that for this new account, I haven't added a custom domain yet, but I would recommend this even if you don't have a website yet. So typically you want it to be your businessname.com or .co or .store or something like that. And it used to be that you didn't need to have a custom domain to have an email list, and so people would just use a regular Gmail. Email best practices have changed in recent years, and you can see they're telling you more about it here. You can click the link to learn more if you'd like. But basically, inboxes like Gmail or Yahoo are cracking down on like scam emails, or at least trying to. And so one of the things they want you to do is have a custom domain email address so that you look more legit and you're verified for when you're sending emails, and this can help prevent your emails from going to spam. Google Workspace is a great place to set up a business email once you have a custom domain, and you can get the custom domain from somewhere like GoDaddy or Squarespace domains. I can put a link to those resources in the description as well, but I would recommend go ahead and get a domain and then get a custom email address for your business using the domain, and then you can fill out this default sender information with your from name and the custom email that you're sending from. And along the same lines with the domain, once you have your custom domain, you're going to put it here. So you'll see instead of Gmail, it would be like mypalmerdesigns.com. And then it'll give you instructions for how to go through the authentication process. That's going to be specific to your domain provider, but I will put a link in the description as well for where you can get more information on how to do that part. Checkout is a new Flodesk feature where you can have a store in addition to your email list. In this video, I'm just going to focus on the email list part, so I'm going to skip over that setup. And then you have your branding. So if you have a logo, you can add an image for that here. The size doesn't really matter because you can tweak the sizing within emails. I'll show you that when we get to email design. Format needs to be a PNG, a JPEG, or a GIF. And then if you have brand colors, you can add those here. You'll be able to easily access them when you're designing emails. With the brand colors, you'll need to add them as hex codes. And so if you're in a tool like Canva, I put some example color swatches here. So I just had some square shapes and I picked colors for each one. But if you click a color and then click the color swatch at the top of Canva and then click the plus, it'll actually show you the hex code here, and my face is in the way, sorry. But when you click the plus, you can see the hex code, and so you would copy that and then paste it into Flodesk and save, and you can just repeat with all of your colors. Or there's also another great free resource that I like called coolers.co. I can put that in the resources list for this video in the description as well. But you can generate color palettes here, and then when you find a color you like, if you click it, you can copy the hex code there and paste that into Flodesk as well. And then you'll also want to list out your brand fonts if you have those. Google fonts are usually easiest to use because they're free and you can use them on most email and website platforms. So if you go to fonts.google.com, you can browse their whole library, and then when you're ready, if you come into Flodesk and click manage, you go to new font and you can upload the font files that you downloaded from Google Fonts, and then any company details, and then of course your company address. For this, I do recommend using a PO box if you have one, just so you don't have to put your home address here if you're a work from home business. And then any social media profile links that you have, you can add those. I'm not going to worry about any of the rest of this right now, but as far as like being able to send emails, those are the main things. So now let's go to the main Flodesk emails page by clicking the Flodesk logo in the top left. And the next thing I want to go over is how to import a list if you're moving over from another email marketing platform and you already have a list. So if you go to audience at the top, click add subscriber, and you can add an individual or upload the CSV file if you're importing a list. And your old email tool should have walked you through or have resources you can find online on how to download that CSV list, and Flodesk will just import everything for you. And then let's talk about segments, and I've actually already set up a few in this account. By default, you'll have all your subscribers, and then what you want to do is just create some groups to help you identify subscribers so that as you're marketing in the future, you can get more specific about who you want to market it to. I recently attended a Flodesk webinar about segments and it was amazing. So worth it. If you ever get invited to one of their free workshops, they send emails about them. Be sure to attend if you can. Just really valuable, and they do a great job with it. Basically, the more specific you can get about who you're sending the email to, usually the better engagement and results you can get. So for example, if you have a candle business and you know someone is really interested in your Christmas scents, you can have a Christmas segment and email them about that. Or if someone wants to know about a specific sale you're doing or a workshop or whatever, you can segment to target those people. Like maybe you're a photographer and you do mini sessions, you can have a segment for your mini sessions. You can always email everyone at any time, but anytime you want to divide and just contact a specific group, this is helpful. You'll just click new segment, you can name your segment, pick a color for it, and then save it. And so you can go ahead and create any segments that you'd like to start with now. And then in the future, you can also create segments when you're creating emails. So I hope this is feeling pretty easy so far. You're staying with me. Now we're going to talk about freebies. So a freebie is a free resource that you give someone in exchange for signing up for your email list. It could be a free checklist. It could be a free version of your product, a free video on how to do something, a free email with some educational information. Really, the options are endless, but you just want some sort of free gift that they get to join the list. Nowadays, there's so much marketing going on. Usually, people don't sign up for an email list just because the form is on your website or linked on social media. They want to get something in return. So if you can have a valuable freebie to introduce people to your business, that's a great way to build your list. Once you have a freebie, you'll want to create a form where people can sign up to receive it, and then they'll also be automatically added to your email list when they fill out the form. So if we go to the Forms tab here at the top, you'll see I already have a couple forms in this account for my freebies. So if you click New Form in the top right, Flodesk has a lot of beautiful templates already in the library that you can use for free. If you already have a website, you can use what's called the inline form and just get the form itself to add to a page on your website and have the rest of the landing page design on the website. But I'm going to go ahead and assume for the purposes of this video that you don't have a website. And even if you do have a website, it's totally okay to just use the Flodesk landing page when you're first getting started anyways. We're going to go ahead with the full page, and then you can just click customize. It's going to want you to choose a segment to add these subscribers to. And so that's why it's important to go ahead and have some segments that you want to start with. And you can either choose one that you've already created or type to create a new one. And then you're going to just customize the rest of this landing page design. Again, we're going to keep it really simple. So you'll click here and you can choose an image from your computer and add that here. You can change your title and your description text here. If you have brand font settings already in Flodesk, when you click the text, you should have an area in the fonts drop down with your brand fonts like I do here. So I can easily change that to my fonts. I just scrolled all the way to the top where it says brand, and I can see my brand fonts. And you may need to tweak sizing or color alignment, so you can do that here. And I actually think I'm going to go ahead and just turn off my face because it's in the way. Sorry about that. But the form is already here for someone to put in their name and email address. And so those fields are done for you. If you need to add additional fields, like last name or something custom, like what's your business name, you can add more custom fields here. And then the download button, if you want to customize the appearance of that, you can change the coloring, the thickness, the font, and play around with all of that there. So once you're done customizing, you also want to click thank you, and you can customize the thank you message. There are also some settings that I want you to check for your form. If you want people to double opt-in or not. Double opt-in means that once they've signed up, they have to get an email in their inbox and confirm that they want to be on your list. So you can have that turned on or off. In some countries, this is required. So be sure to look at your local email list, email marketing laws, and you'll know if you need to do this or not, or otherwise you can leave it turned off. If you want to get an email notification yourself every time you get a new subscriber, you can turn this on. I think this is pretty fun, so I like to keep it turned on. And then you have your main segment here that people automatically get added to. And like if you wanted to add more than one, you can. If you're using something like Facebook ads, you can put in the ID for that there. And then if you need extra marketing consent, again, this might be required in some countries, you can turn that on there. And then the link where people will access this landing page, you can customize here. And so you can see that's where that handle from earlier comes in. And then this is the string at the end that applies to this specific landing page. If you edit it, you can actually put a custom name for the landing page here instead of just a string of letters. And then this is the preview. So like if you're sending this link to someone in Instagram DMs and you want it to look pretty and branded, you can change out the photo here. Otherwise, you can just use the Flodesk logo, and then you can have the title and the description for the link telling people what it is. And then the last thing we need to make sure we do is actually attach the freebie so that people receive it. So one of the easiest ways to do this is go to success here in the settings on the right. Yeah, you need to be on the thank you tab, and then you'll see the success option. If you turn on redirect to URL, you can actually put in the link to your freebie. The easiest way to make the freebie link accessible is to upload it to something like Google Drive, and then put the Google Drive link to the file here. And what will happen is after someone fills out their form, they'll very briefly see thank you for subscribing, and then they'll be redirected to the link with the freebie and they can download it. It's less hassle for you, less hassle for the customer because they get everything right away. So that's what I've been doing lately. But if you do want a more thorough experience, I guess, if you go back to the main Flodesk page, there's something that you can create in Flodesk called a workflow, which is an automated email or an automated series of emails. So we're going to go over that next. And you can use a workflow to deliver a freebie or to do any series of emails that you want to send, like a welcome sequence or a Black Friday series of emails. So when you click new workflow, you'll see there's an option here on the left to deliver a freebie, and they have like one standard template. You can customize it. And what's going to happen with a workflow, you always need a trigger. Trigger just means what's going to cause this email to send. So you'll click choose trigger, and so it says begin this workflow when someone is added to a segment. My segments are really generic, but maybe you want to have a segment that actually is checklist freebie. And you create your segment, and then once someone fills out that form, remember when we could choose a segment for a form, you would choose coloring page freebie. So they filled out that form, they got added to the segment. Now they're going to receive an email, and then the workflow is over. Or in this case, it makes sense to just end the workflow. But if you were sending a series of emails, you can add other emails after that first one. You can even add time delays in between the emails. The basic sense is it's one email or a series of email that's automatically triggered. So for your freebie delivery email, you would click on it and edit it. So click the email, click edit. And now let's talk about how to design your first email. So you see how it all kind of builds together. You can add your logo here. If you've already uploaded the logo file, it'll be here as like your default business logo. And like I was saying earlier, you can adjust the sizing here or drag this to adjust sizing. And then with text, you can click to edit it and change it to what you need it to say. And then you can change the appearance here on the right. And you can do that for any text box. And then a tip, which it's giving you here, is that you can personalize your email to include someone's name, which can be really great. So what you do to do that is, let's say I wanted to say before I talk about the freebie, I wanted to say hi and then put their first name. What you would do is type the @ symbol and then click first name. And then if for whatever reason when they signed up they didn't put their first name and it can't display here, you could say something like there or friend as a placeholder. So it would say hi there or hi friend if Flodesk can't find their name. So I'm going to insert that. And then I like to put a comma So that's how you use the personalization, and then you would write your message. You can customize this graphic if you'd like, and then you have a button here, and this is the part where they actually get to access the freebie. You would come to link here once you select the button, go to link on the right, and you would paste that Google Drive link or wherever you have your freebie accessible right here so that people can download the file. You could also upload the file directly, but it has to be under 10 megabytes, and I've just found it easiest to have it in some sort of cloud storage where I can always easily access freebies and share them in different places, not just in Flodesk, and so I like to have them somewhere like Google Drive. And then link actions. Once someone clicks a link, if you want to further segment them based on their behavior, you can use that. So like maybe they click your link, and so now you know they're interested in the Black Friday sale. You can add them to a segment for that. So at minimum here, just add a URL so that people can access the freebie, and then you can customize the rest of your email as needed. So once you're done customizing your email, you can click finish, and then you're ready to go ahead and publish your workflow. But now let's go back to Flodesk. So now let's go back to emails, and the last thing I want to show you is how to just send a general email to your list. So not necessarily a workflow that's linked to like a campaign or delivering a freebie, but like you just want to send a regular one-time newsletter to your list. Click new email, and then you can choose a template for the email. Once I've created a look that I like, especially for my regular newsletters, I'll usually duplicate that email right from in my emails page. But since we're starting from the first time, you'll go ahead, pick a template. So let's say I like this one here. I can customize it. And then the way that you would edit this is just like what I showed you with the workflow email. Basically, you can click anything and make edits to it. If you want to add more to the design outside of what's already in the template, you can click this little plus icon. You can add additional layouts, which are like little templates with a design in them, or just an image itself, video, and so you can look through all of that, buttons, and play around with that there as well. And then one other thing I really love about Flodesk is they do allow for polls. So if you click that block, you can actually have your audience vote on things. So when you're done customizing your email and you're ready to send it or schedule it to send in the future, you can just click next, and it'll have your name and the email address that you're sending from. Make sure that's right and click continue. And then you're going to write a subject line and preview text for your email. In the inbox, your subject line is what shows first in bold. Preview text will show up as the subtext. Click continue. And then you're going to choose who receives this email. So you can send it to segments of your list or individuals. So I'm going to click add segments. So now it's going to ask you to choose your segments of who to send it to. And you can just send it to all subscribers, or if you need to get more specific, you can choose specific groups to include and exclude. So let's say, for example, I want to invite some people to join my membership. I could include all of the designers on my list here, but exclude anyone who's already joined the membership so that people aren't getting the email if they don't need to or if it's not right for them. So that's how you would use that part. And then you'll click save. And then it's going to ask you, when do you want to send this email? So if you're ready to send it right now, you can click now. If you want to schedule it to send later, click later. You can also send yourself a test email or send a test email to a friend if you want to check how it looks before you send it to everybody else. So that's the last thing that I'm going to go over in this Flodesk tutorial. Those are all the basics. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll have a link to the resources I mentioned in the description as well. Thanks for watching.